Hello everybody, welcome back to a quiet Saturday. I say quiet because usually around this time, when I start trying to record a vlog, neighbors next door decide to drill another hole somewhere, and so far I haven't heard anything, so it should be okay. Anyway, welcome back to another vlog. I see that I didn't put the sign up, but you can just imagine that it says vlog number 9 in the background somewhere. Nothing much has happened since last week and the week before, because the week before is when I did the last official vlog. The one after that was more of a story about my dad type of thing. Quick update on that situation. I didn't send anything back to him. That last message that I got, I sent nothing back. And he sent me another message, 2 messages after that, which basically read, let me just quickly translate that. He first of all starts off with, "We're not going to Spain," which I didn't ask about, so I'm not really sure how that came to be. Then he says, "You will always be my child and I'll always love you, and her name also loves you, and you don't know her yet, and that'll be rectified sometime in the future. See you soon, your dad." Now, "You're always going to be my child and I'll always love you." That's something that sounds a little strange in this situation. You would think, like on the surface, you would think, oh, that's nice, he's saying that he loves you. On the other hand, "You'll always be my child and I'll always love you" sounds more like something I would expect somebody to say to an inmate. Like if you had been arrested, put in jail for some serious crime, and your dad comes to visit you at the station, and he'll say, "Well, you'll always be my child and I'll always love you." That's more the situation I would expect to hear that, so I'm not really sure what that is. I haven't responded to that either, because now I'm just going to wait and see what happens. And this weekend it is Whit Sunday and Whit Monday, and that normally meant that we would go visit. I haven't heard anything from him about when I would come over, so I'm just going to keep quiet and not going to go, because I really don't feel like going there right now. It'll be just more manipulation, and probably she'll be there as well, obviously. And they're just going to spend their entire time talking about how I should adjust my thinking and how I'm wrong, etc. And I don't feel like doing that, strangely. It's not something that is my hobby. So I'm going to skip on that, and we'll see about, Father's Day, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, that's that situation done. That means also that I will be going to my mom on Whit Sunday, and she lives about an hour and a half away from here. Now, in the Netherlands, that's quite a long distance. In other places, that's something you do every day, just to go to the grocery store. But over here, it's quite a distance. So normally I would go by train. Of course, public transport right now is limited, because first of all, you have to wear like a mask if you want to go on public transport. But I believe also that public transport is still only meant for people who have to use public transport. Like they don't have a car, or they have a job that they need to get to that they can't use a car for, or whatever reason. Going to visit your mother, I think, is not on the list of critical jobs, so I'm not really sure if I should. I think I have to go by car, which is quite an ordeal for me, because I normally don't go any further than the grocery store. And now I have to go on several highways, which is navigation-wise an issue. Oh, my mom sent a message. Just take a quick look what she says, because she's planning something. And as we know, my mom always has great plans. Let's see what she says. "I could also come your way, because Theo says he doesn't feel like cooking and that we should just go for a walk and go eat somewhere. I think it's better that I come to you." Well, that's also possible. Okay, so now our plans are she's coming this way. That's also possible. I'll say that for her in a moment. Let me just quickly text her. Okay, so it sounds like she's going to be coming over here. That's fine by me as well. That means we're going to have a repeat of what we had for Mother's Day, which is going to be a lot of driving around, and we'll probably go to the graveyard, and we'll probably go and try to get something to eat somewhere. I don't know if she wants to go to a restaurant or something, because of course you do need to register beforehand. Although if we usually will go for like fries or something, and I think I saw that most places that like to have takeout, you don't have to register beforehand, so that's going to be okay. Okay, so that's like one long car trip off the road, so to speak, not off-road, so that's going to be okay. But the driving situation for work might still be a thing. I don't think I've talked about that yet. Let's go into that right now. I know that I'm being just as chaotic as my mom. It's apparently hereditary, so bear with me. Okay, so work situation, that's a whole new thing. Normally, at least according to the government, if you can work from home, you should work from home as much as possible. But our boss sent an email around last week saying that starting June 1st, we're just going to have to come to the office again because they feel like we're not productive enough working from home, which I'm pretty sure in some cases is true because it's very easy to get distracted when you're at home. I think I've done just as much as I usually would at the office as well. Okay, but there are some people who are kind of pulling production down, so that's their excuse for saying you need to come to the office if at all possible. And there was initially a little caveat in there, like if you are dependent on public transport, then you'll have to wait until they say that people can travel on public transport again safely, and if they don't have a critical profession. So initially I was like, okay, then I guess I'll have to wait until that's settled. But then it turned into, but if you have a car, use that to come to the office. So everybody just has to come to the office for some reason, which is a little bit annoying because particularly now that things are opening up as well in other places like different stores and restaurants, and people can go sit and have a drink somewhere again. That's going to see large crowds coming together regardless of the rules. I mean, if you just go to a store now, you don't see everybody following the rules anyway. Yesterday I went to the grocery store again, and there was this woman who just raced past me at like this much distance, and I'm like trying to jump out of the way because apparently she didn't care, but I care. So I'm like, oh my god. And that's with the rules in place. And of course, if people start gathering in larger groups, the 6-foot rule is going to be very quickly forgotten, because what happens is if you go someplace and you see your friend or something, you'll automatically make the assumption that because I like this person, they're probably not sick and it's going to be okay. Or this person's related to me, even though we don't live in the same house, they're probably not sick, it's okay. Even though they might not be showing that they're sick, and that's how things get spread. So it's going to be a bit tricky. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks, because of course the fallout of the situation will not be known until about 2 weeks later down the line. So it could be, and I kind of suspect that around August, September, we're going to see another tightening of the rules if there are still people out there who are sick and now able to pass it on to other people now that they're allowed to go outside more. So we'll just have to wait and see how that pans out. I'm going to have to start driving more apparently, because I have to drive the car to the office now. It's going to be a bit tricky because I've never driven in that town, so I don't know the road there. First couple of times I'm pretty sure I'm going to get lost and annoyed with traffic because it's going to be busy, because everybody else who's now also been told, of course, by their employer that they have to come back to the office will also be driving most likely. Because I suspect that the people who would normally take the train and who have now probably also been told by their boss, like, hey, starting June 1st, let's try to get back to the office. They're thinking, I'm not getting on board that gigantic tunnel full of demons, which is a reference to somebody else.
Get in a long tube with a bunch of demons.
Who may be carrying the virus. I'm just going to take my car, and that means we all get to go stand in a gigantic traffic jam on Monday morning. Rather, in this case, Tuesday morning, because Monday is with Monday, and that means we don't have to work. But on Tuesday, we're going to see some stuff. So what I'm planning on doing, actually, because I've been making more of these face masks, these guys, look, I used to make these. I'm probably still going to make these because they're very easy and simple to make. And the same guy that also had the video on this had a video on how to make them out of cloth, which is similar. See, with the nice little binders over here. So you can wash them and reuse them. Only thing they have to replace is the you can see the white stripe there, the tissue that goes in the middle as a filter. So I've been making a whole bunch of these. I have those stacked laying on the table right now. And so probably I'm going to try to go by train, because I usually start work really early in the morning. And that means it's not quite busy yet in the train by the time that I get there. So possibly it'll be quiet enough for me to take the train. And by the time I go back, because I start early, I also leave early, it's probably not going to be super busy then either. So it might be possible for me to safely take the train without encountering anybody. And if everybody else who would normally take the train around that time decides to go by car, that means it's going to be even quieter, that train. I should have no issues there. So that's what I'm going to try first. That's my plan. And if it is too busy and I don't feel safe, then I will have to drive, and then we'll see about that. Although the person like my team lead, I guess you could say, they're like, okay, don't take those rules too strictly. If you don't feel safe, you don't feel comfortable, just work from home a bit longer, it's going to be fine. Which is nice that the option is still there, but I do want to try to see if we can get to the office. And then we'll see how that goes. So I got like about, how much is that? I think about 12 different masks, mostly the paper kind, but also the cloth ones, which I'm now making. I'll make sure to link the description or link the video in the description to that mask as well. It's basically the same thing, except for instead of stapling, you use binders. Let me just grab one real quick. I bought a bunch of really cute ones yesterday. Look, these are usually for paper, as you can see, and then you like press this and then it opens up and you do that. And then once you, instead of stapling, you put this thing on, and then you remove these little things here by just pressing them down, and then they come out like that, see? And of course, when you want to wash them, you want to make sure to put these things back in, so you can undo this clamp. You just put them right back in like that, and then you can open it up again. There you go. So I got a whole bunch of different ones of these. And that'll make a bunch of cloth masks which I can wash and reuse, which is nice. So if you can do that, make sure to try that. I have to go buy the binders because I didn't have them. I got them at just like a dollar store type place. You could probably check that out in like the stationery section. They might have something like that, or if they have like office supply somewhere, go check that out. Office Depot if you have that. I've been doing more workouts at home. I do want to say that. I found a workout which is like a Tabata workout. If you don't know what Tabata is, it's basically a whole bunch of different moves. You got 20 seconds of activity, 10 seconds of rest, and then you just rinse repeat that over the process of about half an hour. And the videos that I've been watching, they do the same move, the 20 seconds 4 times with 10 seconds in between, and then you get 30 seconds of rest to drink some water, and then the new sets of moves come in and you do those 4 times for 20 seconds. So it's like half an hour of very short bursts of activity, a little bit of rest, occasionally a water break, and it actually works really well because you're not constantly exhausted. You have like a moment to breathe and recuperate, and that's worked pretty well. I've had to order some sport gear because I didn't have any sport gear. It's been working okay, so I feel like I'm probably going to get back on track a little bit more with my diet, which I had started last year just before Christmas. There are a lot of people, of course, online are complaining about the corona weight that they're gaining, and I definitely gained at least a few pounds, but it's not been a huge disaster, so I think I can still catch up to where I was and just get back on track, so I can get down to the 75 kilos that I wanted to weigh eventually. So we'll see how that works out, and if these workouts are any good, or if I'm still enjoying it and I keep going back to them, then I should be there before I know it. It used to be July, but I think it's now going to be August, September. We'll see. Anyway, so that's it for this week. Hope you're having a good time. Hope everybody's still healthy around you and yourself as well. Of course, make sure to stay safe. And I'll see you next time in some video or another vlog. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.